girlfriend out.
Hello, it is Jay speaking. Welcome back to my channel. Or welcome, because this is like my second video. I don't really have a intro, just because I want this to be like a visual and audio diary. But I'm just gonna say hi, like welcome you guys in. Whoever is watching, all of 2 of my subscribers. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, so I wanted to come on here and just like yap. I wanted to do like a little paint with me, just because like I love watching those and it's so relaxing, and I thought I would try and make one. I wanted this also to be like a video where I'm literally just talking, because my last one was more inspired by a monologue and it was very like organized, I guess. And so I'm gonna try something a little bit unorganized, but I have tried to do this audio recording like 2 or 3 times, and the unorganization of just literally me talking was stressing me out low-key. But yeah, so let's get into it. Your lack of expression is killing your dream life. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. This is honestly a reminder to myself, and a realization that I came across this the last couple weeks. So, but first I want to see like, how are y'all today? Like, how are y'all doing since the moon eclipse and everything? Like, how have you guys been? And yeah, like I feel like, yeah, how have y'all been? It's, even though there's maybe nobody watching this, it's polite to ask, okay? Yeah, I honestly today I feel so feral and emotional. And what I mean by feeling feral is just, I feel so, like I kind of said, like I feel honestly really unorganized, not really clear or concise in my emotions. I've been doing quite a bit of shadow work. Well, I've been doing shadow work maybe like twice this week, which is what I usually do on a week-to-week basis. But I had been taking a break for some time, and I started it back up this week again. And it already came in strong. Like, it came in with a freaking gut punch, girl. Like, literally, my first session back, like writing and doing shadow work again, it was like a deep realization. Like, it felt like an epiphany, really, honestly. And so, like, I'm really still emotional from that. And I think overall for like the last couple months, I've been pretty emotional. And at first, I don't know, at first within it, I'd been really creative and really like pouring my feelings and everything into art, and just like really like creating, just painting, doing like clay work. Yeah, like I started the last couple months off like, okay, like, having like a navigation system. I'd been taking some essences that my aunt, Madame Flora, she gifted me, and I had been taking it with a guide that she also gave me, and she gave me like different activities that I could do, like collage art, or I think it was clay work or something like that I could do to help me like go through my emotions. And so I had been really strong within that the last few months, but now I am, that kind of slowed down. So I thought like, like why not just paint and see where this goes. But also I feel like I'm trying to learn how to be okay with allowing my emotions to run wild and free. I'm trying to be okay with unorganized chaos. And honestly, it feels really tough to not try and control it, or not to have like some sense of control on it. I think I'd been really used to hyper focusing on myself, like being really critical, or just like, oh, these are the areas that you can do better, or focusing on things externally about myself, or even internally too, in order to feel like I have like control. And so as I've been unlearning that, it just feels like really like, oh my god, like everything is happening like within myself, all of these things, all of these thoughts, all of these feelings I don't know what to do with, and they feel really emotional and like a lot. And yeah, from my last upload, I just been feeling like really scared and, like I said, critical of myself. It's like I don't know, like somewhere in between yelling at the world in teen rage and rebellion to now where I feel like I've kind of forgotten how to be expressive without being concerned about being seen and judged, if that makes sense. I feel like when I was younger, I didn't really care too much. And then just like honestly too, growing up on the internet, like, I grew up in Tumblr era, okay? Like you literally said what was on your mind. You said your deepest, darkest feelings, and it got freaking like hella likes, hella I don't remember what it was called, like repost, I guess. And yeah, so but now I don't know, I feel more shy about it. I feel more like hard on myself, I guess, about it. And so like honestly, I think these emotions that I've been feeling these last few weeks, uploading my last video really like low-key kind of triggered me, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, like it really triggered me because I don't know, like I feel like honestly since birth I've been such an emotional and sensitive kid, like literally emotionally sensitive since '01, like for real, y'all. And I think that I would have like a negative connotation of that from a very young age, because like in my family it was socially unacceptable to be sensitive, if I put it like that. Like, and I mean more in a sense of like, okay, like it would be an issue to where it's like, oh, it's just a joke, stop being sensitive. Like honestly, sensitivity in my family was something to either be annoyed at or made fun of. So, like growing up, like how your family members will be like, oh, you're being so sensitive, it was just a joke, or like, why are you being so sensitive, like, you know what I mean? And so it was socially unacceptable within my family, and I feel like a lot of people can probably relate to that, especially people who grew up in a Black family or cultural family. Because yeah, so yeah, like that's probably my first instance of becoming like hyper aware of my sensitivity. And ever since then, ever since I became aware of that and aware of myself and like who I think I am, I'd learn I'd learn how to minimize it or like numb it down. That is not a phrase, but I learned how to like minimize my sensitivity or numb it in order to like not get pointed out, like in order to like protect myself in a way, or like hide from getting made fun of more or getting like people upset more, I guess. And so yeah, like I don't know, y'all, since the crib, really since the crib, I have been a master at hiding my emotions or adapting how I actually feel. And probably really like also like understanding that feeling deeply as I did when I was growing up and even now, I learned then that it was like an unnecessary condition that I had, honestly. And I honestly feel like that's how anxiety manifests in the body. I feel like anxiety becomes whenever you're constantly stuffing and hiding and masking and repressing all of these emotions and thoughts. I feel like that's why anxiety comes up, because it almost feels like, sometimes to me, anxiety feels like when there is too much pressure in a bottle and the bottle is capped and it's like getting bigger and like threatening to burst. Sometimes that's how anxiety visualizes itself to me, and sometimes that's how I feel like it manifests in my body. Like it's so interesting. And you know, like actually I recently remembered how when I was young, whenever I would try getting across what I wanted to say or expressing how I felt, and I don't feel like I was being heard, my throat would swell up. Like my throat would literally feel like it was being choked, and my chest would tighten and I would feel like I couldn't breathe, and then I would just like start crying. And that was pretty much the only way that my body knew how to express or try to express what I really wanted to say, or how I really actually felt. And something the other day compelled me to look up how fear manifests in the body, and panic attack comes up. And as I'm reading, I realized that these things were symptoms of a panic attack, like a swelling in your throat feeling like it's closing up, a tightness in your chest, feeling like you couldn't breathe, probably crying, I think was in there, or like, you know, almost like hyperventilating in a way. And I realized that like whenever I would have those moments, those were like low-key like miniature panic attacks. And thinking about that honestly breaks my heart for the child that was really feeling just like in over her head about what she wanted to say and couldn't get out. And throughout time, I feel like those moments and memories and experiences stick with you over time. Like I feel like they've really stuck with me and like internalized with me, and literally feeling panic when trying to express myself. And it would stick with me in a way to where whenever I would go and maybe have to speak for like a job interview, or like going to speak because I'm running the meeting that week, I would literally feel so anxious, so nervous to just get up there and talk. And I would feel like I had to plan exactly what I was going to say, have a script, have exactly the timing in which I wanted to do a certain thing within the meeting. Like, I would really like plan down to the bone, girl. Like, yeah, like it was just it was kind of like it was just very compulsive, I guess. And be like things like that I would feel really anxious about, which I feel like falls under social anxiety in a way. But it would also be in instances where I would go and confront a person because they did some fucked up shit to me, and I would literally feel like my throat was like closing up and like my heart all palpitating, and like it would just be a whole thing, and panic. And I don't know, like I think I really took on that fear of rejection with me to where then I became afraid to express myself. I mean, it really stopped me from being able to stand up for myself, to be able to confront the things that I feel like is not okay. And honestly, it really did put me in some crazy situations, because it was almost like I was no longer the driver of my own life. Fear was. I feel like it's something that you only recognize whenever you actually are putting yourself in the predicament to be triggered in that sense, in a sense of where you are making the choice to put yourself out there, or you are making the choice to confront the person, or you are making the choice to express however you want to express, whenever you want to express it. I feel like the realization that fear is what's stopping you, and fear is what is literally the driver of your life. That's the only way that I think a person can recognize it, is whenever they actually put themselves in front of it and face it in those type of ways. And before, for me, I was putting myself in the face of fear and constantly triggering myself through finding myself in situations to where I'm like having to confront someone, or you know what I mean, like just it wasn't my decision to put myself in those predicaments, and I feel like it was because fear chose that for me instead of me. And that kind of like brings me on to my next thing about, I saw a video the other day about free will, and these two guys were like debating on if free will is a thing, and if there is no actual free will. And the guy that was talking about how there actually isn't free will, he was explaining that certain circumstances and ways of living may halt a person from having the free will to choose anything outside of their natural lifestyle. And to me, I can understand that, but at the same time, like whenever I first heard that, I was like, I feel like it's a matter of knowledge. I feel like it's a matter of being aware. And whenever you take yourself out of knowing what you have always known and all that you have ever seen before, and allowing yourself to see new experiences, like exposure therapy in a way, then I feel like the choice, you realize that you do have a choice in certain things. And so I don't know, it's a whole debate. So yeah, I felt like it came down to awareness. But in this instance, for me, living fearful of my own expression, while to live is to have the freedom to fully express, I feel like it completely strips away the concept of a choice from a person. Like, because I didn't know what it meant to be externally validated in my thoughts and emotions at a deeper level, because you know that was something that was just like I said, not really a thing in my family. Like being sensitive and overly emotional was exhausting, and nobody had time for it, and you were weird kind of thing. I think I became so used to filtering whatever came out of my mouth, and filtering through even my own thoughts, really, so it can be palatable. Because I had been so used to living like that, I didn't know that, one, a while ago, I didn't know that I was even repressing emotions, so that's one thing. And two, once I have finally, like, started to heal and become aware of my emotional suppression, I really didn't know how to actually start the act of expressing myself. Like, every time that I would go and do it, it would feel like this block. It always felt like there was a line, like, okay, like, I can cry this much and then that's it, kind of thing. Like, my body wouldn't feel deeper than that. Or it would feel like whenever I would go to actually say how I really feel, I would just, again, like, feel tightness in my chest, and then literally expressing myself, forcing an expression out of myself through the fear, I would reject myself or be really critical of how I said things or what I should have said instead. And so it was like this constant battle inside of myself it was like constant strife, really, and a constant, like, hyper awareness of how I would say things. And so, like, y'all, like, even, okay, it was even down to, like I said, even down to my thoughts, to a point where, like, whenever I was younger, and even just, okay, honestly, not even younger, literally just like 2 or 3 years ago, I would literally, like, judge my own thoughts in a way of, like, say somebody, like, cut me off on the road, and I would want to feel like, man, fuck this person. Literally, the other part of me would be like, you don't want to say that. Like, why would you say that? Like maybe they're having a bad day, kind of thing. And it's like, damn, I can't have a bad day, and I can't feel like F this person. Like, well, fuck me then, type of thing. Like I was the constant commenter on how I would feel, like, literally. And that is so enslaving. Like, that is so, like, internally I would feel like a captor. Like, or is that the term, captor? Like, someone who feels captured and, like, held hostage, and I can't blink, breathe, or, like, anything, or, like, if I don't want to, get tortured, kind of thing. And I would literally torture my own self in my own head about how I would feel. Like, girl, like, you didn't even say it out loud, you're just thinking it, and you can't even think that. Like, damn, nobody is really on my ass like that but me. And so, yeah, like, girl, it was too much. Like, I was a hollow shell of what I believed other people thought I should be, or how I thought other people would judge me. Like, I was the person to judge me first. So, yeah, and that really played a heavy part of adding to, like, that fear of being expressive. It definitely stopped me from believing in myself. It stopped me from knowing who I am beyond judgment of myself. And yeah, like, girl, that's not good, babes. Like, it's truly not, honestly. And so, yeah, like, that is something that I really want to say, honestly, throughout this video, is that denying yourself the freedom to express is killing the version of yourself that shines the brightest. It's killing the version of yourself that wants to be heard and loved. And so, not expressing, not living in your human ability to feel is literally taking yourself away from that. It's making yourself a robot. You're AI. Like, you're AI. You have no you have all the knowledge and all the power, but no human emotion, girl. Like, that's sad. That's sad, right? No, but yeah, like it's definitely something that I am having to remind myself of, to not deny myself that, to just overall learning to become human again, because not living in my true authenticity makes me feel not real. Like, it makes me feel like a concept. And like, before, I had the conditioned mindset that if I say what I really want to say, people will hate me. If I say what I really want to say, they'll leave. Like, all of these things, all of these thought patterns that I would tell myself. But if I stop from saying what I really want to say, I'm just stopping myself from loving myself. Because how can I love someone that I don't even really know, because she doesn't really allow herself to be free and be a person to love, if that makes sense. Anyway, I think I'm just rambling now, but really what I want to say is, dimming your own light for the sake of others, or whatever you feel like you're telling yourself you can't shine for, it is not the move, girl. Like, you are killing the dream life that you actually want to live. Like, being able to come into the version of yourself that you want to be, and that you already are, it comes first with expression. Like, girl, say what you need to say, think what you need to think, feel how you need to feel, be real about it, be honest. That is your truth for the moment in time. You are not your emotions, but how you feel is so important for the moment in time, so you can navigate life, so you can be guided into a bigger and better truth for yourself. So don't dim your light. Don't hold back. Don't filter yourself. Don't censor yourself. Your lack of expression is killing your dream life. Because to be human is to be alive, and part of being alive is feeling as deeply as you can without letting it destroy you. Your lack of expression draws you into a life where you're okay with being a background character in your own world. It allows you to drown in the emotions that you pretend not to have. It allows you to have anxious thoughts and anxiety and panic attacks when you want to say that you need extra ketchup. Like, girl, ask for that extra ketchup, and then ask for another. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want, to say what you need, because just think of your inner child. Your inner child needs that extra ketchup, okay? Like, think of her. Think of her or him, whoever's listening. Yeah, and don't let the fear of being who you are deep inside, or who you want to be bigger than the fear of not living at all. And that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this little yap sesh. I think this might be the best one. And I'm excited to listen to it back. I may not listen to it all the way, because I am just trying to like talk, do what I need to do, and post it, girl. Like, because if I listen to it more times than I should, I will probably retract it and not even post at all. So, but I promise guys, and I promise myself, that the quality and editing style will get better as we go on. I'm not gonna be a perfectionist right now, especially when the goal is to put myself out there and express myself. So yeah, thank you for listening. I love you so much, and we'll talk soon. Bye.